So today I want to show you the WAN 2.2 workflow, which is the most powerful image generation workflow in my opinion. But let's start with the video workflows at first. So this is the 5 billion parameter model. We have two models offered to us this time. So it allows us to do text to video as well as image to video. And on the other hand, we have the 14 billion parameter model, which we'll come to later. Out here, we have everything that works the same way. I've uploaded this image of this car and I also have a LoRa model connected right here to the model. What I want is I want to create a 360 microwave effect, which is very popular on social media these days of this car. So while this runs, let me show you the 14 billion parameter model. This is one of the videos I generated with the model, which is a very complex space motion video. You can find all these workflows for WAN in the default ComfyUI workflows window, by the way. So here we have a workflow. Now, the principle on which the 14 billion workflow operates and is different from the 5 billion model is that it follows a mixture of experts model where there's a high noise model as well as a low noise model. The high noise model essentially creates the entire video frame, so it works. It divides the steps, and the actual fine tuning is done by the low noise model later on. um, you can also connect a LoRa model right here, which connects to the second K sampler. I've put a very detailed and complex prompt for this generation here because I wanted to create something intense. There are two K samplers involved, of course, and you can watch this video. And this entire generation took about 1 hour 24 minutes on my 4090. So I don't want to generate any more videos using the 14 billion model. I'd rather just use it for images, which I'll show you later on, and that's relatively quicker. um, Now let's come back to a car model to see if it's rendered the microwave effect. I think it gets the structure and motion of the car right. It's pretty realistic, but it doesn't give us the full 360. Okay, anyway, let's come to the image model right now. In the image model, we have everything set up the same as the 14 million parameter model. Uh, Except in this case, we are using the anything everywhere node, which is essentially a broadcasting node, which allows us to broadcast one node anywhere in the workflow. So I don't need to connect nodes to each other if I've used this node. Um, we have a detailed prompt that I've put in right here, because the better the detail, the better the lighting. We have, of course, an image size node for the images, and we're using 2K samplers to get this really realistic looking image. Um, Again, the prompt is linked to the prompt everywhere node, as mentioned before, which is great. Um, this entire workflow essentially takes like 300 seconds to load a workflow, which is not bad considering it's almost like 5 minutes to render an image, and the image is really high quality. But I'd like to show you some of the outputs I've generated using this model. So this image was essentially a word cloud. I wanted a word cloud embedded onto a person, which is a very graphic design heavy image. Um, and I think and I think like if it could get text right, this model would really generate some great posters or magazine effects, or magazine covers essentially. So like really good illustration effects using this model. um, the second image we have here is I wanted to get the likeness of a real personality. So I wanted Steve Jobs in this image. And I wanted two texts. One was ComfyUI on the computer right here, which is the Apple one, which it got correct. And I wanted most realistic model written on the background wall, it messed up the text when I tried to put in like two complex text messages here, and it also doesn't get like realistic personalities correct. The second is really interesting. It's an illustration blueprint drawing, and including this car image, which is also like an animated illustration blueprint. it gets these right. The third is an illustration which is with many people in a complex environment. So this looks nice. I can still spot a lot of artifacts here. So this would need a lot of fixing, but this image was nice. And this image was the best. I wanted to like really capture complex lighting in include from the cameras and the people around in this image, and you can still spot a lot of realistic looking faces out here in this image. Especially the detailing on the dress is great. um this again, like if you can spot the shadows, it gets the text all wrong on this box. Same as before, even the number plate, I wanted ComfyUI written on the number plate here, so it got that wrong. But the reflections on the car are really realistic. If you see, though, the background, the back of the car and the front of the car don't match, so the colors are different there. This image again, it gets the text on the blackboard wrong, but the person in front is really realistic. This image was great. It really simulates real rain and gives the muddy, rainy effect of the streets. It's a very cinematic frame that I can potentially use in an image to video model later on. But this image is really good. And again, now this is an image I wanted in Times Square. It gets the people in the foreground to look really realistic. People in the background pretty much blend into one another. But if you can upscale this image, I think it would look great. But it does look like a very realistic looking image. Another image in a farmer's market, and this is more illustration style. Uh, of course, there are like artifacts on people, but I really like this art form. I think this would lend itself really well to good art. It almost looks like it's out of the New Yorker magazine cover, right? And I have the seed saved for this image that I'd like to use later on for some of my illustrations as well. This is another really realistic looking image. If you look at the hands and the detailing on the nails and the fingers, um, especially the intricacies on the watch. This is our hero image. It's great at getting models right, and it gets these are like a couple of the starter images I started to make with this model. It makes models look really good. But yeah, that's you guys should definitely check out the WAN 2.2 image model. People are sleeping on it, and it's a good time to play with it. So also, don't forget to follow me for more content like this, to subscribe, and I'll keep creating more tutorials and workflow videos like this.